Hello and welcome to Inside Huntsville. I'm Brenda Martin, your host. Our purpose is to give you, our viewing audience, an opportunity to learn more about the services available through the various Huntsville City departments. Today, I'm pleased to highlight a woman who wears many hats, Joy McKee, who directs the operations of 3 departments. Welcome, Joy.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
And thanks for coming to the show. Joy, you wear many hats. You're the Director of Landscape Management. You're the Director of Cemeteries. And you're the Director of Operation Green Team. What's a typical day for you?
Well, Brenda, I start out at Maple Hill Cemetery. It actually is a little close to my house, so everybody can be envious of that. I almost could walk to work. And I start out the day doing the business about cemeteries. And then when I leave there in the morning, I go on over to City Hall, where I engage in both Operation Green Team activities and landscape management activities.
Well, what are some of the challenges of landscape management? Well,
landscape management is, we actually have 214 square miles within our city limits. So some of the challenges are obviously just a lot of land mass. And then you go on to things like bees and snakes and, you know, all kinds of heat indexes and weather problems. It's really challenging when you think about it, just thinking, okay, we've got to mow 214 square miles. And we've also got to pick up all the litter in those areas. We've also got to weed eat around every pole, every stop sign. To make a difference, you really have to look at the city and say, what makes us different? Well, it's because we pay attention to the small details of the challenges that it become 214 square miles of maintenance.
And that makes us different from other cities.
It does.
Not only in the state, but perhaps across the United States.
Exactly. Well, it does. And, you know, people come here from all over actually asking us, you know, how do you do this? How do you make it work? So it's, you know, we just show them the challenges and we say that's what our leadership wants and that's what our citizens expect. There
you go. Well, if someone has a question about trees on a right-of-way, what should they do?
Well, actually, Mark Byers is our arborist. And so, you know, it's always good to just check and make sure if a tree appears to be on a right-of-way, it may be planted there, you know, by the city. And we have Tree City USA now for 22 years. And so we covet those trees and we don't want them just cut down. Oftentimes people will think, okay, there's something wrong with this tree and I'm just going to have it cut down. If they're not sure, they should call Mark Byers, and he works in landscape management, and his telephone number is 256-427-7499. And if they'll just call him, he'll come out, he'll inspect the tree. If the tree needs to come down and it's on city right-of-way, the city will actually take it down. So the homeowner doesn't bear that cost. If there's nothing wrong with it, but it's a tree that can come down, Mark would permit and allow the homeowner to take that tree down. So it's very important for us to understand that you just don't go cutting trees down until someone makes sure that it's okay to do so.
That was going to be my next question, because oftentimes people think that they can cut, it's my property and therefore I can cut the tree down. Or it's on the right of way, or they don't think about the fact that it is on the right of way. And that the city has.
And right of way is a tricky thing. When you're talking about trees, it's a little bit different than just mowing your grass. You know, when out in front of your home, and I happen to know that that you take care of your home so lovely, but you know, a lot of people don't mow all the way out to the sidewalk and beyond that. That's actually homeowner property. You can imagine that we wouldn't go in and maintain everybody's property and mow everybody's property right in front of their house. That's yours to maintain. So those items are important for us to remember that make a difference in our neighborhood.
Exactly.
And if they have questions, they can always call us and we'll make it clear as to what can and can't be done.
And Mark is so wonderful. I mean, he comes out and talks with you and helps you to understand. And
exactly.
That's great. Well, landscape management literally covers the entire city.
Yes, it does. North, south, east, west, and ever growing. And we have right-of-ways, we have secondary roads like Bailey Cove, Pulaski Pike, Maston Lake, Bob Wallace, Drake, Cummins Research Park is, a huge part of what we do. All the athletic fields, all the parks, all the greenways, Hayes and Goldsmith, Hayes Nature Preserve and Goldsmith Schiffman Wildlife Sanctuary, state right-of-ways, Jordan Lane, Governors, just everywhere. Everywhere you can think of, that's where we're at, and we're actually mowing, weed eating, maintaining, some herbicide where it's applicable.
So if someone needs information about landscape management, where would they
They'd actually call our office, our landscape management office, and Lori Douglas answers that line, but it's also checked in case she's out. So just leave a message, but it's 256-564-8030. And it's very important just to leave us a message or send us an email. Under the city's website, because it's so important. If we don't know about it, we can't fix it. And there's so many people that help us out by calling in and letting us know if there's a problem somewhere. And we try to get to it as quick as possible.
Oh, I bet. Well, now, what are some of the basic questions that people call in and ask?
A lot of times it'll be about right away. Am I supposed to mow all the way out to my street? Am I supposed to cut a tree? My neighbor has a tree limb that's leaning over into my property. What is it that I'm supposed to do about that? Well, that's a matter between you and your neighbor. We can't actually go in and say, you've got to cut that, and a lot of people actually end up going to court over these items. But the city has no right on private property to come in and tell you, yep, you're going to cut that because the next door neighbor doesn't like that tree limb coming over to their property. So those are some of the items. They call in about tall grass, something needs to be cut. I will say, Brenda, that in landscape management we have 142 full-time employees. And so, covering all what I just described and more, that's not a huge staff. In the summertime, we actually bring on around 112 temporary employees. And that helps us as well, but that's still a tremendous amount of work. So sometimes things get a little bit higher grass-wise than we would like. And it's important for us to do everything we can to make sure that that gets taken care of. If people see things that they're unhappy with, give us a call. And we'll be honest with you and tell you when we're getting there.
Okay.
But we're trying.
While we're at this point, you talked about bringing on approximately 112 part-time employees.
Right.
When should people call you or call the office to perhaps help in the area?
It actually normally starts in March.
In March, okay.
This year we are actually looking at, and it has not gone through the council yet, so we don't know that we'll have that permission. But in order for us to get that many people and to do all the things that we need to do, we think we're going to go through a temporary service.
Oh, I see.
So if they just call the 564-8030 number, we'll be able to tell them either they'll come in to City Hall and fill out an application because it'll just be city workers and city temporaries, or we'll go through a temp service, but we'll be able to give the public that information, or they can call the HR department.
That's great, because I know oftentimes this is a good opportunity for students
right
to come out and help.
Exactly. Yeah, we have a lot of students that come in, you know, from college, and they work, yes. Generally, most of them work with the athletic fields where we do all the tournaments every weekend. Yes. We put on all those tournaments, and our guys are the ones to do it. Some of them last to midnight.
Oh my goodness.
Yes. So, you know, rainouts and different things, and,
Very
and them
active
preparing
department.
the fields and all that. So it's, you know, it's just so varied, but all they have to do is just either call us or call the HR department.
That's great.
And we love to have those quality workers.
That's right, exactly. Now another department that you're in charge of, and that's cemeteries.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit more about that.
Well, cemeteries, we have actually 9 cemeteries, and I don't think people realize that we have, that the city actually owns and maintains 9 cemeteries. Mm-hmm. That's a tremendous amount of effort. Actually around 100 acres that we mow once a week, that we weed eat, that we overseed, that we take care of the trees, and you know, around 100,000 bodies buried in those 9 cemeteries.
Oh my goodness.
And they're all over town. So they're located in lots of different places.
100 acres, yes. That's a very large area, Joy.
It's a very, very large area.
And personal.
It is personal. You know, I took over, this will be my 4th year. Brenda Webb was over it, and always was just such a wonderful person over the cemeteries, and she retired, so I took over. Mm-hmm. And it's a lot different than people think. There's all kinds of families coming in every day, and I have to be honest with you, the first 3 months was there, I cried. Every day.
I know,
every day I cried,
yes.
because it's so personal. People come in, little elderly people come in with a rose, help me find my wife's grave. So the people, there's 9 full-time employees there. Oh my. They have to be very sensitive to, you know, to all the things that go on with the emotions that happen with a family. And then certainly there's lots of things that take place that people don't think about when you're talking about weed eating around every monument.
Oh my goodness.
It becomes a huge maintenance issue.
And how many monuments?
Thousands.
Thousands.
Thousands. Oh. We had a Boy Scout troop, and we said that would be a good project for y'all to count each monument. So they're talking about doing that for us. But you know, just a lot goes into the maintenance of the cemeteries.
Well, how much does it cost, and are there any more spaces available?
There aren't any more spaces in any of our current 9 that we own cemetery plots. We have sold completely out. Oh my. We do have a bit of good news. We have started a project that the mayor and the city council have approved. Mm-hmm. And that project hopefully will be completed by next January. It'll add in Maple Hill another 2,095 graves. And it's important for people, I think, to note that a grave at Maple Hill Cemetery, you can have 1 full body burial on your lot, and you can have you can also have a cremation, or on a space you can have 2 cremations. So that kind of gives you more. A lot of people are going to cremations now.
Is that right?
So, you know, you can have 1 person buried there in a casket, and then a cremation at the foot. Oh, I see. Or 2 cremations. Oh, I see. So that gives you some options, and, you know, people are trying to be frugal now, and that gives them that ability to do that. $1,800 is what we were asking for the spaces at Maple Hill Cemetery up until the point we sold out. The new lots, I'm going to ask permission for that to be more. Certainly places all around Huntsville ask a lot more than we did for the $1,800. And so we need to come up on that sum to make sure that, you know, years to come we have plenty of money and can take care of Maple Hill.
So what's the square footage in that area?
It's around 75 acres in Maple Hill.
And you say it's at the foot of?
Yeah.
Maple Hill.
Yeah, Maple Hill. So, and Maple Hill Inc., I know the public would like to know about this because there's a lot of people who are buried at Maple Hill Inc.
Yes.
And that is not a city cemetery, but it is inside the cemetery Maple Hill proper.
Okay.
It's 7.7 acres, and it's owned by private owners. And last year they approached mayor, and we started in negotiations to actually take over Maple Hill Inc. And it is in the court system right now. So if a judge allows us to do that, then that will become Maple Hill, all just a part of Maple Hill. And you know, we think that's in our best interest because
the
public's interest, because years down the road, the city is still going to be the city, and we're always going to take care of all of our 9 cemeteries, and Maple Hill would be included in those. And so the people that it would actually then become Maple Hill, just plain Maple Hill, it would make a difference for them and the maintenance years and years and years down the road. Right now, of course, they currently take care of that and always have.
Joy, talk a little bit about the cemeteries that pretty much have African Americans in them. Because you've done a lot of great work in those cemeteries, I know personally.
I know we've worked at Glenwood, and we've done several mini projects over there and continue. We just actually finished one at number 4 Hall. It's on Stringfield, next to Ford's Chapel Church. We just finished a little project there. The church and all the ladies and gentlemen that are there at that church, predominantly African American, came and said, you know, we want a little bit of uplift.
Okay, wonderful.
And I said, well, we can do it. And so this winter we went over and we actually built a little entrance, a little wall. Our guys actually built it, so it's very, you know, economical for us to do. We did some plantings there, and they have partnered with us because they're getting together their history so that they can apply for the Alabama Historic Registry. And when they do that, then we'll have opportunities to maybe get grant money and do more improvements there. So it's been very rewarding, and they've been very helpful, and so we've been good partners. And it's important for us to take care of all of our cemeteries. Not, you know, Maple Hill obviously is the largest and the oldest, and you know, gets a lot of recognition, but the other ones deserve just as much recognition. And I've been so proud of the way that we've been able to work in the community with volunteers as well as our staff to make sure that they all look good.
Exactly. Thank you for sharing that. So if anyone has any questions or wants to know a little bit more information about our 9 cemeteries, what number should they call?
They call 427-5730, and that's the office at Maple Hill. And I'm oftentimes there in the morning, and they can always leave a message for me if they have a specific question. But we have wonderful staff there, and there's so much history at all of these wonderful cemeteries that I invite people to find out the history. And we also, you know, encourage people to come out to the stroll. It's always in October.
Oh yes, talk a little bit about that.
That's such a fun event. It's always generally the second week in October, but they can look for press releases to come out about that. And it's around 70 characters that dress up like the people who are there in the graves. And it's fun. 5 governors, the gypsy, you know, just all kinds of wonderful characters. Tallulah
Baker.
Yeah, she's good. There's a madam played by Christy Webb, as a matter of fact, and she does a wonderful job. And so it's very colorful, and you learn a lot of history. And you know, those people have researched their characters for years. So it's, you know, it's very rewarding to hear it. And you can't do it all in one year. You have to go again and again and again. So good.
That's a great great community activity.
And it's free.
And it's free.
And it's free. So you can't beat that.
Okay. Another area that you're over, and that's Operation Green Team. You're involved in so many things as far as, in fact, I was watching TV last night, and there I saw you were sponsoring some activity, you know, and I said, there she is.
We have got you know, Operation Green Team has been in existence since 1977, so it wasn't me.
Oh, okay.
This is so many people before me, and I just got lucky enough to be in on it 15 years now. And, you know, the people in the community decided they wanted a way to make our city stand out, both in litter reduction and you know, wanted to make sure that illegal dump sites and graffiti and, you know, problems that our community have and get more of, because when you grow, more things do start occurring. Well, we wanted a way to make sure that we take care of our community and do it through volunteers.
Okay.
Because the city can't, just like I said, the city can't come out with the landscape management department and mow your front lawn. Well, we can't get to every street, every stream, every body of water. We have to have help. And Brenda, I cannot tell you, 56,000 volunteers over that last year. That's huge when you're talking about a city of 185,000.
Exactly.
And it's unbelievable. Yeah. Every day we get large groups of people. There's a Baptist church that's just called us. There's 3 churches that in the next month they're going to do huge cleanups in neighborhoods that have some challenges. And they're going to go out and help in those neighborhoods.
So people call you and say, I want to be a part of this, and
right. I want to be a part of Operation Green Team. How do I go about it? And the easiest way is to say, do whatever it is that you can in your own home and in your own neighborhood.
Gotcha.
Because that's where it all starts. And I will say that Huntsvillians have the most pride in the world. It's just really wonderful to see people going, oh, that looks so much better. And, you know, not always just, I mean, the city is there to serve its citizens.
Yes.
But we have to have help in a lot of areas.
Exactly.
And for people to come out in masses and to do citywide cleanups and to do neighborhood cleanups and to go into challenged areas and clean up. It's not even where they live. It's because they want everybody to have the same quality of life.
There you go. Exactly. Don't have a lot of time, but I want to talk a little bit about the upcoming projects of
April 4th.
Okay.
April 4th is our next big project for Operation Green Team, and it's downtown Huntsville. And they're at City Hall, and all you have to do is come between 11 and 1 and pick up. We have 8,000 tomato plants, 4,000 cucumber plants. You can register for a raised planter. It's a cedar raised planter. We teach people about gardening and how they can do it even in a raised planter. So we have staff on there to help that out. And it's a wonderful, wonderful way to get involved in learning how to plant something.
And come by during your lunch hour as well.
Come by during your lunch hour, give free hot dogs, and we give away Glad bags, trash bags. And everybody uses those for their cleanups.
For sure.
And they're wonderful.
For sure. April 12th, you've got?
April 12th is Earth Day at Hayes Nature Preserve. And if the audience has never been, it's a wonderful place to come. It was given by the Hayes family, and the Hayes brothers are always there on hand. And of course, we have a playground, we have fishing. And you don't even have to have a license in our pond. You can just come, bring your fishing pole. There'll be fly fishermen that'll give you demonstrations on how to do that. And it's just wonderful. We actually stock that pond, so we make sure that the kids can
there's a lot of fish.
Catch those fish. And then there's going to be like 70 vendors there that day, Brenda. So you learn how to be sustainable. You learn about energy efficiency, water conservation, about we're going to release butterflies this year.
Really?
Oh, it's going to be gorgeous. It's going to be gorgeous.
Now, I know that Operation Green Team does a great deal of education in the city. What are some of your ongoing programs?
Well, we have at Hayes Nature Preserve, we have play days at Hayes, and then the first Saturday of the month, with the Arbor Day Foundation, we actually do educational events there. We go into all the schools. We do the waste to energy facility tours, and we go into all the schools and teach the children about all the things that they should know that they don't necessarily get anymore. You know, when we were around, we had Smokey the Bear and
That's right.
Larry the Litter Bug and all those different.
Right.
But we try to take our robot into the schools and teach the children that it's not right to litter and why it's important to keep our community clean, about reduce, reuse, recycle, and all those educational programs. We had, just at Hayes last year, 6,000 students came out.
Did you really? Oh my.
And so we have, all throughout the community, we do all kinds of workshops and programs and to make sure that people know what they can do. How to recycle.
How to recycle.
Simple.
Yeah, some people don't know.
Some people don't know. And you shouldn't feel embarrassed if you don't. Call us and we'll tell you how to get a blue bin, how to learn how to recycle. It's little things that anybody can do. We have a bottle caps program.
I was going to ask you about that. Great.
Oh, the bottle caps program is wonderful. It's being looked at all over the nation.
Oh, is it?
KW Plastic is located in Troy, Alabama, and they're the largest recycler of plastics in the world.
Oh my.
They're just down the road.
Down the road.
And Denise Taylor, who is the director of Operation Green Team, actually started the CAPS program. Because the mayor came to us and said, you know, I want something else that we can recycle that, you know, the city made it happen. Not the Solid Waste Disposal Authority or their program, which is wonderful and we're glad they've got it. But he wanted something else. So he said, so Denise came up with plastic bottle caps. All sizes. If they're plastic and they twist on and twist off. Somewhere around 9 million last year that were totally recycled. And when they went to Troy, Alabama, they came back in our community as a paint bucket. A plastic paint bucket sold at Home Depot, Lowe's, and Walmart, all those venues. So when you recycle the plastic caps and it goes to KW Plastic, then it's turned into a plastic paint bucket that comes back to our community.
Oh my goodness.
And that's something that nobody threw away. It didn't have to go to the waste to energy facility. And thanks to our sponsors, and Boeing being one of the biggest ones, and Republic, they have given us money again this year to be able to take care of prize money for the schools.
That's wonderful.
So and if I'm not mistaken, we've got 38 schools that are registered this year. And they love this program. They love our CAPS program.
Well, thanks to Denise, huh?
Yeah.
I tell you.
She came up with a good one. She's very smart, and she's so passionate, and that's what I'd have to say about Operation Green Team. Everybody that works in there is so passionate about the environment.
Exactly. Well, they have to be.
Yes, and what we can do to make little changes. And not everybody wants to recycle. Not everybody wants to reuse their bags, and you know, but everybody can do a little something. And by doing a little something, it makes a difference.
I've got 3 more minutes. Your summer care program?
Yes, that's at Hayes Nature Preserve, and all they have to do is call the 532-5326 number to register for that.
And that's for children, what ages?
They are from 3 to 12.
Got to get my grandson in that.
Oh, and you've got to bring him out to fish at Hayes, because he would absolutely love it.
He'll love that. Well, you've got 56,000 volunteers. You could use some more.
I can.
Okay, what number should they call?
532-5326. That's the Operation Green Team Litter Hotline. So if you're out there and you want to turn somebody in for littering, call that number and you can turn somebody in for littering, or you can offer to volunteer. Just skip the message and then offer to volunteer and we'll get back to you.
And are people doing that?
Oh my goodness, every day. People call and turn people in for the litter hotline. Just call us and we'll explain it to you.
Yeah.
But it's cut down on litter in some areas by 50%.
And why not? I love it.
It's an educational program. They don't get an actual ticket. They get a warning from the police department. And it makes, I mean, people call us all the time. Some people don't even realize that a cigarette butt is litter.
Is litter.
That's
and we want our city to continue to stay clean. Joy, thank you so much for your leadership in our city. Huntsville is indeed a cleaner place to live, to work, to play because of you and your wonderful team. Thank you for being here.
Thanks so much for having me.
That's all for this edition of Inside Huntsville. I'm Brenda Martin. Thank you for joining us.